Good evening and welcome to the August 12th, 2019 meeting of the South St. Paul School Board. Wendy, would you please take the roll?
Inspector Diaz?
Here.
Inspector Bjorklund?
Here.
Inspector McClellan?
Here.
Inspector Walker?
Here.
Inspector Arend?
Here.
Inspector Lalaberty?
Here.
Inspector Felton was present, 7 members.
Thank you. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, welcome. We will start off tonight with the approval of our meeting agenda and minutes. And that covers 3 things: the school board meeting agenda for tonight, August 12th, 2019, the committee of the whole meeting minutes from July 22nd of 2019, and the regular board meeting minutes from July 22nd of 2019. Do I have a motion for that approval?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please, or any discussion, rather? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Then the meeting agenda and minutes are approved. Thank you. In our quality in action tonight, we have Community Education Director Jean Zender, who is going to highlight some of the projects and experiences provided this summer with some help from the Educational Foundation. Jean, thank you for coming out tonight.
Hi, thank you for having us. I brought a special friend today, so good evening, Superintendent and board members. This is Tori Jorison.
Hello.
Tori was part of our Packer Pad program, and she's going to help me present on a special project that we did.
Yay.
Yeah. So, let's see if it
Oops.
is it up?
She's having trouble just getting the projection.
Computer.
Hold it down.
All right.
There it is.
Thank you. Okay, Tori, come on up. So this summer, 50 of our youth in our Packer Pad program, so our 6th through 8th summer program, had an opportunity to get involved in a project offered by Urban Boat Builders. This experience was made possible and paid for by the South St. Paul Educational Foundation through the Dylan Engen Endowed Program Fund. This has been a reoccurring program made possible because of the endowment that will continue to provide unique experience for middle school youth engagement. You might remember last year our project that Dylan's Endowment Fund helped sponsor was again, work with the Urban Boat Builders, and the youth built a paddle board that was raffled off at the 2018 South St. Paul Educational Foundation. So, in addition to these projects these last couple years, Dylan's Fund has also provided an opportunity for about 60 students to participate in a after-school fishing class. That's been a partnership with Community Ed the last 2 years too. So the students receive fishing lessons. They actually go out and do a little bit of fishing, and each student then receives a fishing pole, a small tackle box, and a gift card of $10 to Catalyst. So we really appreciate the partnership that we've established with them and the support that they provide our students. Okay, and now I'm going to get stuck again. So, as Lisa's helping us, this year's project, thank you. So this year's project was constructing 16 longboard skateboards, and Tori was just telling us a little bit about what makes a longboard and what makes a regular skateboard before. Maybe she'll add that into her presentation. But the students went down 3 times a day to the Dirty Lab at the secondary building and worked with and under the direction of our urban boat builder, Master Woodsman, and his name was? remember?
Nathan.
Nathan. So Nathan's been with us, I think, the 2 out of the 3 years that we've had this partnership, and the kids really seem to enjoy them. I'm going to kind of finish here where the first thing that the students did with, as a group, was to kind of put together their norms of collaboration. So that's what you'll see listed here, that they're going to respect each other. Safety was always the number one concern with the tools, and learning how to ride their skateboards after it was finished. Teamwork, trying your best, showing up, asking for help as you needed it, communicating, making sure that we cleaned up. That wasn't always the most fun part of the day, was it? And listening to each other and participating. So there were 7 steps, and Corey's going to walk you. Tori. Tori's going to walk you through each of those steps and add a little bit of what she felt was exciting about each of the stages, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so lamination.
Lamination is where you would put.
Come right up to
The
the
microphone.
microphone.
Oh. Lamination is where you'd put like these little. If you see, there's these wood things on the board. It's like different colors. You'd put them together and then glue them together with wood glue. And then you glue different layers on them. And then that was step 1. And then they got this weird curve at the end of it, which would soon enough be the tail. Cut and shape. Cutting and shaping the board was basically where you'd get these, you'd put this piece of paper on the top, and then you'd draw a shape, and then you cut it out, and then you'd use a jigsaw or something. I forgot what it was, but
Jigsaw.
okay. And then you'd form it. It was quite loud, so shape the edges. So it wasn't harmful. We would shape the edges with things. I forgot what they were, but things.
Sanding? Were they sanding tools?
No, they were just like,
Files?
we would use these. Okay, I don't know how to explain it, but we just basically made them like harmless and not gonna hurt you.
Okay.
The tools that you used?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
good, that's good.
Sanding and smoothing the boards. This was my favorite because we got to take sandpaper and then rub it against the top of it, like making it smooth, but like also with the weird texture. Yeah. Varnishing. We'd put a coat of varnish on the top of the longboard so it would be shiny and stuff. And we also assembled the wheels, which, yeah, just wheels.
Did you get to choose your wheels?
Yeah.
Cool.
I got this black and blue pattern, as you can see.
Cool.
All right. Learning how to ride. We got helmets, knee pads, and elbow pads to help us practice, but we only kept the helmet.
And who was your instructor for your, not only is he a master woodsman, he's also a master.
Skateboarder. God, that was loud.
And they had about 20 hours of practice
Yeah.
or so, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell us how you ended up with one of the boards?
So I went to probably about 8 hours worth of longboarding. So if you had a certain amount of tickets, you get one for each hour that you went to. So I had 8 tickets. And if you had, I think, at least 5 or more tickets, then you would instantly get a longboard.
Nice.
And then the rest of the longboards were
Raffled off
raffled off.
Yep.
And one special one went where?
to the South St. Paul Educational Foundation. And it was for like a gala donation.
Anything else you'd like to add?
It was fun.
That's the most important.
Tori, I have a question for you.
Yes?
Where is the best place in South St. Paul to longboard?
Now this could be a bit, there's quite a few places. I think Thompson Park was one of them. That's one I remember. and that's the only one I remember.
Well, Thompson Park isn't in South St. Paul, though, is it?
Oh,
It's in West St. Paul.
That's true.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Right across the street.
We have some students that like to longboard in our, next to our community ed office, where they're going up
oh
and
yeah,
down.
Central Square was good.
How about Lincoln Center?
Yeah,
Don't they have that ramp there?
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was really fast. It could be potentially dangerous because there was like a fence at the bottom of it.
Yeah, and
Don't
there's a
wanna
guy across
smack
the
into
street
the
that
fence.
watches too, so that's me.
He lives across the street. Any other questions?
Tori, you said that one of your favorite parts was the sanding to smooth it all out. Did you have any other favorite parts?
I mean, learning to ride was really fun, but mostly just sandpapering it.
Cool. Thanks.
Nice. And it is very heavy.
You see why I almost dropped it at the
Right?
beginning.
You can put it down anytime.
Tori, how long did it take to dry after you varnished it? Did you have to leave it alone for quite a while?
I'm not quite sure
Okay.
because I wasn't quite counting the hours, but it took probably about a day,
Yeah.
2.
Did you do one coat or 2 coats?
I wasn't quite there for that part,
Okay.
so I don't really know. So I think because they were still doing the one for the gala donation, so I think it looked like they put about 2 or 3 coats on there.
How could you tell that they must have put more on?
Well, because I was seeing them putting the
Watched
coats
them
on.
do it. Did it turn out extra shiny then? Extra
Yeah,
sturdy and shiny?
yeah.
That's really cool, what you've done there.
Bullheads on it.
I have a comment and a question. So my comment is, my favorite is the blue and black wheels. That is the coolest thing ever. And then the question is, for those of you who weren't holding it, it's rough on the top. And is that so that you don't slide off?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, thank you so much for
Great,
your
thanks.
attention tonight, and thank you so much for coming and helping us present.
Yes.
Tori, would
Come around,
up
shake
here.
our hands, please.
Way up to the school board here. You shake your hand on the way, and then we're going to go right to Ms. Lalaberty, and she'll shake your hand all the way down. And Jean, can you go too? Sure.
Yeah, so you're going to be in 5th.
Thank you for coming.
Six.
Great presentation, thanks, Jean.
Tori, you get a couple of those too.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Tori. Well
You
done.
have a collection at home?
If you don't have any.
Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
Going into 6th grade. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good stuff. Beforehand, Tori was explaining the different types of skateboards and told us that the smallest of the skateboards is called a pickle. So that's what I've learned tonight, is that the small skateboards are called pickles.
I didn't know that either.
We'll now move on to our report section and start, or we'll feature Dr. Webb and the superintendent report.
All right, well, good evening. So just a couple of pieces in our superintendent report. One is we'd like to give just kind of our recap on our listening session from 2 weeks ago. So I just want to report that on July 22nd at our public listening session, and again, this is relatively new for us at the board to be reporting about the previous listening session. So again, it's continued to be a move for transparency, better communication with our community. So we just had one individual present to the board that addressed the school board regarding the Flex e-learning proposal. And then they also shared comments about the PSEO, or post-secondary enrollment option. And then finally, they made additional reflections and shared input on the district's International Baccalaureate program and the study of the school board's listening process and session, which we did in depth again tonight. So I just wanted to report that first, and then give you an update next on our previous meeting that we had just prior to tonight's session. So, we had, just at our 5 o'clock session, just before this meeting, we had a staffing update, student rights and responsibilities handbook update, school board listening session, study update and conversation, lots of good board discussion, and then a community education program update as well. So I'd like to take just a couple of minutes and do a little bit more color commentary. So we still have a number of para positions, a few teaching positions that we're getting buttoned up for just liftoff here in about 3 weeks. The second bullet about the student rights and responsibilities handbook, that is now available as a part of this board packet. We have our draft of a new rights and responsibilities student handbook that we want to make the whole community aware of. We've worked hard to combine an elementary and middle school secondary handbook into one-stop shopping for parents to really find with greater ease and really user-friendly ways all the rights and responsibilities that go along with being a student in South St. Paul. So some people call this the behavior handbook or the discipline handbook. We call it the rights and responsibilities handbook. So that draft is now on our website and ready for use. The next portion was about school board listening session. We are hearing from the community, and we got more good feedback tonight about board listening session, but we're looking at all the different ways that other Dakota County school districts structure this time just before the public meeting to listen well and hear our community. So as we finalize that conversation and direction, we'll be bringing it again here publicly and getting feedback from you as a community. So stay tuned, continue to watch our meeting minutes, and follow us along on the listening session. You saw the community ed presentation. What a great job Tori did with the skateboard. Can't beat that. So we have a number of back-to-school dates. I don't expect you to be able to easily read this page, but we have a lot going on. It's all on our website. I just wanted to shout out some of those. First day of school, Tuesday, September 3rd. First day of kindergarten, Thursday, September 5th. We get school up and running before we get kindergartners in the mix, and then we start a couple of days later, bring families in and make that a nice transition. We do the same a few days later, Monday, September 9th with preschool. So I'm just going to say it again. We have free preschool for every 4-year-old in South St. Paul. Free preschool, every 4-year-old family. It's called voluntary preschool because if you don't want it, you don't have to come to preschool. It's just voluntary and paid for by the state if you'd like to attend our programs. We had families in the office today that have 3-year-olds and all the rest, so there's still community preschool for 3-year-olds as well. So I'm going to let the rest of the calendar speak for itself, and it's all on our website. There's a new district calendar that's coming out as well that you can pick up at your school, back-to-school visits, so lots of good things there. Next, we have the student meal payment system. So School Cafe is replacing PayPams for your online school meal payments. You won't notice much different, but the students' PIN numbers will remain the same. That's probably the number one question. Are you changing my kid's PIN number? Do they have to memorize a new number? Nope. They've been transferred, so the numbers will remain the same. Parents will create an account and add appropriate balance for their kids. We also have just the free and reduced lunch form, which is the application for educational benefits. What even the superintendent is learning is about the additional benefits if you qualify for benefits for our families. So in addition to just the application that is typically mailed home, if you don't get that in the mail, you can get it at school, you can get it at our back-to-school events. We're asking everybody to complete the form. And then there's a box that you can check basically if you know that you don't qualify, and you can opt out. And the opting out allows for us to get full participation, full story. But if you do qualify, you can get energy assistance as a family, phone line assistance, museum discounts, health club discounts, internet support discounts. So there's just a number of really good things through XL Energy Center and Frontier Communications that I just want to make families aware of, just encouraging people to fill that form out. And I'll just say we have about half of our families that qualify for that support. Back to school, important information for K-12 tax benefits. So if you have school supplies that you're purchasing for your son or daughter, save the receipts. There are tax credits available. You can visit our website to hear more about it. But basically, the two that are most famous are the K-12 education subtraction and the K-12 education credit. So both programs help lower your taxes and may provide a larger refund to you when you file your taxes. Okay? Next, backpacks. So when we were out for Night to Unite, we had families that were already asking about backpacks. So we know it's a hot ticket in our community. We know Deb Griffiths from the city does an incredible job leading the Fill the Backpack campaign. There's still time to donate supplies. If you want to donate supplies, you can bring them here to City Hall. And then I believe it's just next week you can already start picking up backpacks from your elementary school. Definitely during our family back to school day that we have the week before school starts is another time. There's no like crisis rush for backpacks because at the start of the year I always see like 30 additional backpacks still sitting in the office. So everyone that needs one will get a backpack. Okay. As always, here's our meeting materials and minutes. You can follow this tree to follow along, and we'll go back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Webb. Excuse me. Tonight we have just one item on our business agenda, and that is the approval of the consent items, which includes the financial claims and the staffing update. Do I have a motion for their approval?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Then the consent agenda is approved. And as I noted, that's it for the business portion. So we'll go to the informational items and hear from our board members and start with Nikki.
Oh, nothing at this time.
Okay, thank you. Bill?
Nothing at this time.
All right. Wendy?
I have a few things. As
You can
usual.
always count on you.
As usual. It's hard to believe that it's almost mid-August and that school will be starting in just a few short weeks. So just a couple reminders. Secondary students already this week, starting Thursday on the 15th, you can already go to the secondary building, pick up your schedule and other information on Thursday, August 15th, and also on Monday, the 19th. You can go to the high school, get your schedule, locker assignments, things like that. So be sure and take advantage of those 2 days, Thursday or the following Monday. And also next week, our opening for staff days. Our new staff will be coming and getting together, getting into their buildings, and lots of activities for new staff, current staff, to get reacquainted with the start of the new school year. And another favorite for so many people, already fall sports for grades 9 through 12 has started, practices and things like that. Already next week, well actually this week, there is a football scrimmage this Saturday down in Northfield, I believe it's at. And then on our first official football game is Friday, the 30th of August, out at Holy Angels in Richfield, if you want to go to the away game. And our first home game at Ettinger Field for our Packers, will be on September 6th against Simile of Inver Grove Heights. So already fall sports are underway. They're always exciting and fun. Go out and support your teams. There's a lot of variety of teams, so be sure and take advantage of everything that you can. And also as board members, even though it is summer, our work is never done. We've had a lot of activities in the last few weeks. I know for me personally, last week, the Education Foundation Gala at Southview Country Club, always a fun event, silent auction items. It's fun, good fundraiser for the foundation. And I want to thank Carrie and her staff for the great event again that they put on. And also a thank you to Fury Motors for donating the 2-year lease on another Jeep. So huge shout out to Fury for their donation again. And also several of us board members were able to attend the Minnesota State School Board Association summer session, which was held last week, Sunday and Monday. Great event, great speakers focusing on equity. It's always fun to attend those events, to network with other boards and hear about current laws and different programs that are out there and available to board members. So it's always a fun event put on by MSBA. Also, I was able to attend the South St. Paul Night to Unite last week, where several of us board members were able to go out into the community and meet folks on their streets and their residences, hear from them, converse, get ideas, suggestions, and thank you to all of those that welcomed us to their parties. And it was really a fun night. It was my first time. I've done it for a long time, so it was nice to get out there and do that. And I also was fortunate enough to volunteer at the Custodial Maintenance Technology Golf Tournament, which is a couple weeks ago down in Cannon Falls. It was my first time volunteering for that, and it was really a great event. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I already told them that I definitely will be back again next year. Great to support that group as they raise their funds to provide a scholarship for graduating seniors in the spring. So thank you to the Custodial Maintenance Technology team for putting that tournament together. So something to keep in mind, especially if you're a golfer. Even if you're not a golfer, it is a fun event to support and to attend. So thank you to everybody, and we look forward to start of school already. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Wendy. We'll move down to the other side with Linda.
Yes, I've got a couple of things. In July, I think it was in July, went to the Addams Family play that was put on by the community theater, and it was outstanding. I laughed and I gasped and I sang along. It was just amazing. So some saludos for all of those people out there who participated, and you did a wonderful job. It was wonderful. And then I have an announcement. So as many of you know, South St. Paul women were some of the first women in the nation to vote when we were finally given the right to vote. And Clark Memorial on 15th and Bryant is hosting a citywide celebration of these women who were able to vote for the first time. It was a suffrage event, and there's going to be some singing and some lanterns and some food, and so come on out. It's August 27th at 5:30. So the suffrage event at Clark Memorial. That's all.
Oh, sorry, I was making a note there. Patty.
Yeah, just like to echo Wendy. It was great fun to go and meet you all. We went on the north side for Night to Unite, and I'm just so impressed with our residents because I got asked some really informed questions. So I know that you're invested in what we're doing. So thank you for your support, and thank you for those tough questions. I also attended the Minnesota School Board Association summer seminar with a couple of these guys. And again, as Wendy said, it was probably one of the best seminars I've been to. They filled us in on legislative stuff and legal cases. And I think the one thing that it culminated with that I'd like to send out for you folks to keep an eye out for is we got to see a movie that is a documentary about Lucy Laney Elementary in North Minneapolis, and their challenge to meet testing score levels and such. And it's called Love Them First. Care 11 produced it. Lindsay Sievert, something like that. She was the one who got it done. So if you see it, it'll be released nationally mid-September, and it's so worth seeing. So Love Them First. If you see it, try and watch it. It's beautiful.
Very good, thank you. And Jeff?
Nothing tonight.
All right. Well, we do have a closed session tonight. We have a couple things we're going to review. One is a negotiations update, and the other is a performance evaluation. So I'm looking for a motion to move into a closed session.
So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, nay. The motion passes and the meeting is closed.